Our bodies are temples. They are not amusement parks.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that because a lot of people do see food as entertainment. They
Yeah.
associate a lot of food with entertainment, joy, that dopamine, that quick fix of just feel good. To where, yeah, I like that. Where it's like an amusement park or a roller coaster,
Mhm.
and like the roller coaster goes up, it comes down, and you will feel like shit after.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to episode 224 of the SuperSetYourLife.com podcast, your weekly workout motivation to fuel your life inside and beyond the gym. Michael Meola is a NASM-Certified corrective exercise specialist helping people achieve the best versions of themselves from Syracuse, New York, United States. We will recover how Michael went from 308 to 175 pounds without tracking calories, without any cardio, and more importantly, how he healed his relationship with food using a keto carnivore approach. The first phone call that we ever had began with him saying, "Every coach needs a coach." Man, that is very, very wise words. The wisest man who ever lived, King Solomon, wrote, "Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their efforts." That's Ecclesiastes 4:9. And then Michael Hill says, "A workout partner is someone who will be there for you and has your same desire to succeed." My favorite thing about working with other coaches is how much I learn from them in the process. I have a similar relationship with my personal coaches today. Michael, welcome to the show, pal.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How you been lately? How's your weekend?
Good. Yeah, not too much going on. I realize, kind of reflecting, that I live a pretty boring life. I just kind of work and work out, train, and rinse and repeat. So yeah, it was a pretty chill weekend though. Nothing too crazy.
I love it. Okay, so you were 308 pounds at one point, and looking at you right now, I don't, I can't put that together in my head.
Yeah.
So how did that start, and how did you get down, to 175?
Yeah. So
Because most people would be like, hey, that's going to be a lot of counting calories, and that's going to be a lot of time on the treadmill. But apparently that wasn't the case for you.
no, I didn't really count calories. I didn't step on a treadmill. I would just go for walks. That was my cardio, quote unquote. But yeah, I guess I got that big because I've always been kind of a small guy. Like I always laugh when I find my old wrestling pictures where I was on the wrestling team and I was just a string bean, just like this scrawny little kid. So then I kind of got into powerlifting and weightlifting, and I was like, I got to get as big as possible. So I would force feed myself just giant bowls of just garbage. I would eat.
Yeah, because that's what everybody on bodybuilding.com says to do.
Yeah,
right? You got to get your carbs.
yeah.
They don't tell you that they're all on gear and that you're natural.
Oh.
It's not like you got to factor that in or anything. But okay.
God forbid. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just all. That was what I was kind of conditioned to, is you have to force feed. And regretfully so, like looking back, I would kind of tell this to people too, who would ask me like, how do I get big? It's like, you got to force feed yourself, set alarms. Like you got to be shoveling food down. You got to get uncomfortably full. And that's what I did.
Yep.
And I got big. Like
Last thing before you go to bed, first thing when you wake up, man. I was doing all the same stuff. We probably just Googled it because we didn't know any better, and just came across the same articles, because that's about the story of my life.
Yeah, I was just eating around the clock, and I was just like, I got a carb load, so I would order an entire pizza and just like eat that. And in hindsight, like I'm no stronger than I was. Like I would say I'm stronger than I was when I was.
Yeah. And people applaud you for it too. It's like, wow, how much pizza can you eat? And it's like, look, watch this pizza disappear. It works great. It works great when you're in your teens and like your early 20s, and man, it catches up with you eventually. Huh?
I can never know. Yeah, there's this place in Syracuse called Mother's Cupboard where they have a 5-pound frittata challenge. And
wow.
I housed that. That's like a small child. And they glorify it. Like my picture's on the wall there still, and they give you a shirt, and it's just like, oh, how cool. This is
what's the biggest meal you've ever eaten? Biggest meal?
Probably that frittata. I don't think I've ever been able to go past 5 pounds of food in one sitting. So that was probably the most I've eaten in one sitting. It took me about 2 hours just dry heaving, and it was bad.
Wow.
But that was how I was eating back, like that's the kind of stuff that I would do.
Yeah.
Just binging.
Yeah. I think my biggest meal of my life was probably the last time that I was at the Bayview pub in Sitka, Alaska. My father-in-law owns it, and so whenever Taylor and I go there for like a family trip or whatever, it's just like, oh, Colt's here, Colt's gonna eat, and like, this goes back to way before I was bodybuilding and stuff, and like back when I met my wife in college, and so like that's when that's when I didn't see anything wrong with it. I think most people don't. Nobody means anything bad by it, but that's not a behavior that you want to encourage for anybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Looking in hindsight, you're true. Yeah. Definitely like how now to how I was back then, for sure.
Yeah. Our bodies are temples. They are not amusement parks.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do see food as entertainment. You know, they associate a lot of food with entertainment, joy, that dopamine, that quick fix of just feel good, to where, yeah, I like that, where it's like an amusement park or a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And like the roller coaster goes up, it comes down, and you will feel like shit after, like, you
Right.
know.
So feeling like shit, that's like that's like one of the most popular things people say about cutting out carbs. Oh, I would never cut out carbs because I feel terrible. I feel terrible. I feel terrible every time I cut out carbs. So you are not consuming carbs and have not for quite some time. Do you feel terrible?
No, I feel better, honestly. My pumps are the best they've been. My energy is great. My strength is no worse, if not better, than when I was, quote unquote, got to get them carbs, those anabolic carbs, you know.
Right. Have you had any problem building muscle and continue? And what happened to your lifts? Are you still, because you got up to over 300 pounds primarily by powerlifting?
Mm-hmm.
What was the so what was your bench, squat, deadlift? What'd you get up to?
My bench was 335, my squat was 465, and my deadlift was 535. So honestly, not even impressive numbers by that weight. So I was just eating garbage.
Hey man, I was about to share my numbers with you, but not after you said that. No, I can't remember if I got 535 or if I ever got 540 on
Yeah.
deadlift, conventional, with a little bit of a rounded back and still dealing with some lower back issues because of that. And so I quit all three of them. Actually, I won't touch the barbell for the most part anymore.
Yeah.
I'm all cables and machines.
I don't do all. Yeah, I'm just all on machines and cables myself now. And
yeah, but your bench and your squat, you got me by about 30 or 40 pounds on each of those.
Oh yeah, I got it. Box chested. I got that nice bench frame.
Well, your last progress pictures that you texted me, your shoulders look giant, man. I mean, like bodybuilding status, and I'm not seeing any a whole lot, if any, of improvement that needs to be made on the rear delts and the side delts, because that's usually the power lifters problems, right? They got a giant chest and giant front delts, and just don't look at them. Just don't look at them from the side, and then you won't notice that that their shoulders are two-dimensional.
Yeah,
but you got three-dimensional shoulders.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was when you sent me that thumbnail you did. Like, I was like, damn, them rear delts though, like they're popping. Like, I was just like, I got that shoulder cap. And
full disclaimer on our YouTube thumbnails, I do use a little bit of a filter here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Hey man, if you're a recording artist, recording artist, and if you're a professional musician, nobody has a problem with editing your sound on the back end so that it's higher quality, right? That's part of the art. Yeah. I don't know. I think about bodybuilding the same way. If it's going on Instagram, it's going to look good. Unless it's stories, who cares?
Yeah. But to answer your question, objectively, not even just how I feel, but objectively looking at my numbers, I'm going up in reps, weight, week to week, and I haven't had like any carbs.
Wow.
So I am getting stronger, which clearly means I am putting on some muscle tissue. And I have,
I love it. Yeah. I mean, the number one question that I get asked is can I do bodybuilding without carbs? Like, people just don't know that they can do bodybuilding without carbs. And they ask, why does everybody eat them? Well, first of all, they're very, very highly addictive. Yeah. It's a very, very quick source of energy because it's toxic to the body. It gets in your body and your body wants it out of there right away because it does more damage than good to your overall health. Man, the hormonal benefits that you get alone from reducing carbs, that's why, I think that's why you see so many of the keto carnivore people are really the ones that are not fans of tracking calories. And most of us just get to a point to where we stop because we're like, this does not add up. When you remove a macronutrient, everything changes. Your entire metabolism changes. Your entire body changes. You feel like a new person.
Calorie isn't just a calorie. Your body processes stuff differently. Like you can't look at two things and say, that they're equal. Like, the body will handle fat and proteins, like those macronutrients, more efficiently, in my opinion. That's why I just prefer to look at it that way with those ratios and just focus on that.
Absolutely. Even when I was still tracking calories, like I did it all the way up until I had Bart K on our show, and then he made me feel like a complete idiot because he just poked holes in everything. He was like, "You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong," and it was all about the calorie part of it. I mean, that was really the biggest thing. And so as soon as we stopped tracking it, then things started making a lot more sense. But
Yeah.
even just removing carbs, it's like, wow, look how much less math that I have to do. Like this just
Oh yeah.
simplifies your
So much
plan. Like
easier.
you got two numbers to worry about
Yeah.
if you're cutting, and you don't even need the second one either. Like you don't even need to track your fats if you're not particularly concerned about your body composition goals. But like if you do hit a plateau and then you want to dig a little bit deeper and cut a little bit more, yeah, okay, but then you got to do some manipulation. But for the most
Yeah.
part, man, just it's so simple. You just find where your lean body mass is with protein, and then everything else falls into place after that.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So no no cardio. Were you doing cardio before that? Were you I mean, you've seriously just been doing walks, like it didn't take any stair mill or long
No,
bike rides or like going for long runs or anything to get down
you
to 175?
you wouldn't catch me on a treadmill or a stairmaster. I guess as of recently, jujitsu. I've gotten into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so I guess that kind of counts towards cardio.
Sure.
But that was only within the last few years. Prior to that, no, I would just go for 10-minute walks every now and again, just focusing on weight training. Honestly, weight training and just eating the right foods.
Yeah. What was the time frame that it took you to get from 308 to 175?
I would say it's 6 years. About 6 years it took me
Okay.
to get to this point.
Cool. Um, we were talking before we started recording about how both of us can share experiences with having an unhealthy relationship with food, which led to you putting on the weight gain that you did, and me putting on the weight gain that I did. I never got I never got that high. I think that my relationship with food was quite a bit more severe, right? If you guys are listening right now, you can check out it was either session 42 or 43 of Carnivore Coach's Corner. Keto Mary and I just talked all about this for an hour actually, and what to do if you do have a serious eating disorder. I'm not your guy. You need clinical help. I wish I would have got clinical help at the time, and I never did. I tried to, and I didn't hear back from the professionals that I reached out to. But healing it with the keto carnivore diet is what I did over the last couple of years. And I would say at my darkest, it was binging and purging repeatedly, especially as I got closer to competitions, not the last 4 competitions when I was keto carnivore, but before when I had carbs in my diet. Every single time it just resulted in a binge eating disorder, especially because the carbs are so addictive. And if you're still consuming carbs and a lot of sweets, sweets suppress your leptin levels, and so you can't even tell if you're hungry or not. You're basically just like hungry all the time. And so I was using a lot of supplements that were artificially sweetened, and still having carbs in my diet. And so the two together were just, for me personally, very much a recipe for disaster. I'm not sure if that, if you can relate to any of that, or if that's something that you experienced, and if keto carnivore, since making the transition and not consuming carbs at all in your diet, has that helped?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess it's kind of funny I said it, 'cause, like I always use the analogy of carbs are like throwing a piece of paper into a flame. Like it's just going to burn through it right away. And but yeah, I definitely went through phases where I would just, because I've gone through such extreme dieting to where I have counted calories, every single calorie that's gone into my body, and I've restricted so much that I would depend on, rely, and look forward to cheat meals so much that it would just become, oh God, just bad. Like it would turn into like,
Yeah, dude, like it consumes your life. You're like, how many days until my next cheat meal? How many days?
exactly. Yeah.
Like all these people on YouTube say it's okay to do it. Yeah, why? Because they're feeding your addictive mentality. They do it for views. They don't do it for overall health. These people that
Yeah.
advocate doing cheat meals once a week, they they,
Yeah.
they are not health coaches. These are influencers, and you need to run away from those people.
The best way I could describe it is that it got to a point where I feel like I was dieting to look forward to the cheat meals or to
Yeah.
justify my cheat
Yeah,
meals.
it's like you're trying to quit alcohol. You're trying to quit cigarettes. Okay, so every Saturday, drink as much booze and smoke as
Yeah.
many cigarettes as you want. No, that's
Yeah.
horrible advice. Same
Yeah.
thing with carbs. Carbs are
Yeah.
more addictive than both of those things too.
Oh,
Actually, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of people would say
yeah. It's
that.
palatable. You're just like all the tasty foods, rare carbs. You got your pizzas, your pastas. It's just like, damn.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Blood sugar crashes. We were talking about that too. So how has that improved since you've been keto carnivore?
Oh my goodness. I don't get sleepy. I don't get, I feel great after I eat. Like that's another thing too, is people will, when I do joke around about quote unquote cheat meals, people are like, oh, what are you going to do? It's like, you know what I'm craving? I'm craving some like steak or chicken wings. And they're like, that ain't a cheat meal. And it's like, well, I mean, I love my diet. Like, I eat steak and eggs. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I have the need to cheat. But yeah, I feel great. Like
I love it too. Like you get to eat a ribeye every day.
yeah, like I'm eating ribeye every meal.
What the F else do you want to look forward to?
Yeah, yeah, for real. Like this was the stuff I thought I used to be afraid of, like I couldn't have. And now I'm eating it every day and losing weight and feeling the best I felt during the whole 6-year weight loss journey.
If you're eating ribeyes every day, if you're eating beef every day, if you have the privilege to eat beef every day, you do, and you still need something to look forward to, like for food. I think that I think you need to find enjoyment somewhere else in life besides food.
Yeah, I agree, and it's helped me get to a point too where I see food as fuel, whereas before we mentioned that food is like entertainment, like a roller coaster. Like I was like. Chris Pratt said this about when an interview where he lost all that weight. I agree with, where it's like it got to a point where I loved eating, but I felt like shit in between with just the insulin and the blood sugar crash and just slop. Now it's like where he would say like, oh, I feel like crap while I eat, but I'm great all the way around. But I don't really feel like crap when I'm eating because I'm just eating great food like ribeyes, eggs, and stuff like that. But now I just feel great throughout the whole day. My energy is stable. Yep. I'm waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, naturally just getting right at it. Like I'm right on my computer and just like getting to work, and I just go till the end of the day. Like,
yeah,
I've never felt anything like it before. So I don't think I can ever go back to a standard American diet or just, really any sort of carbs or whatnot. I'm just going to keep this going.
Yeah. Back at my old corporate job before the pandemic, put an end to all that. Back when I was in the corporate world, working for Harbison Walker International, like it was kind of a thing. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock afternoon, like just everybody was done working, bro, for like an hour, and like that was the kind of time where like we would bust our butts earlier in the day and everything, but like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's just kind of like. I don't know. It's like international nap time. That's when people are just kind of done for the day. You're just like finishing up all your administrative work and I don't have that anymore. It's like, what time is it right now? It's 12:10 for me right now. Like most of my podcasts I do around one or two ideally because it's after my workout and I'm in a great mood, and that's kind of when I can be the sharpest mentally.
Yeah.
And before it was never like that, man. It was never like that. Like I would always need to take a big nap like an hour after lunch.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I would have those big meals or even carb heavy meals, and I would just don't talk to me for 2 hours. I got to take my nap, or like I would just feel bloated and I was as unproductive.
Yeah, I'm pulling up your meal plan right now. You train with food in your stomach. You're actually one of the few people that I'm training right now that don't work out fasted, because I'm on team fasted. So this is really interesting. What's that?
That might change though, based off today. I know I mentioned I was doing some fasting today unintentionally, but
yeah. Okay, so before we get into that, tell me about your fast. You lost like what, 4 or 5 pounds in a day, right?
Yeah. From that thing I sent you, yeah.
I'm pulling up our text messages again.
It just got to those things. Like I know I've expressed to you a lot how my satiety is just like I'm just never really feeling true hunger. So I figured I'd kind of see like, let me kind of listen to my body a little bit and see. And I'm going on 30 hours right now, and I haven't had like any food. And I trained this morning, fasted, and I crushed all my numbers and even went up in some reps on things. And, I got a little bit of bone broth here, but yeah, I haven't had like an actual meal and going on. Feeling pretty euphoric right now. I don't know like that term, but I get like that rush in my head where I just, as you can tell, I just kind of keep talking and I'm kind of going. My energy's like nuts. But
yeah, and it's all in your head too. As soon as you if you're fasting, the worst thing you can do is think about the fact that you're not eating food. It's all in your head, but the longer you go, the more energy you have, and you don't lose any strength too. Chrissy, one of our other clients, she just did a 3-day fast. I've never done a 3-day fast, man. The longest I've ever actually honestly legitimately made it is 40 hours. I've never got, and the only reason I was able to do it was because I was on the lion diet. Like the lion diet just makes fasting like the easiest thing in the world. Like you just do it naturally. And so I'm hoping that you'll help me along with that. If you and I can pre-plan a 2 or 3 day fast together, I'll definitely stick to it. But I have not been successful yet.
Hoping we can cap off this February going into the lean bulk together with a nice fast break in.
let's go. So we're doing so you and I are both your birthday is on the 13th, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're starting the lion diet after that with Danielle, right?
Yeah. I'm all for
Okay.
it.
Okay. So I'm going at least 30 days. I know she's going at least 30 days. I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel about committing any more than that, but I'm definitely not opposed to it. Let me put it this way. If you want to keep going, I'll keep going.
Okay. I've definitely heard you need to at least give it like 30 days. Like that's from all the stuff that I've seen is like stuff.
Yeah, if you don't do it 30 days is for sure the absolute minimum. If you don't do it 30 days, you're not giving the lion diet a fair chance.
Yeah, that's what I've heard on about it. But I mean, I'm already halfway there. Like I can give up keto bricks for a month, as much as it'll pain me.
Yeah,
So good.
that was the only thing that I missed too was keto bricks on
Yeah,
mine.
they're so good. Like I have them every morning, and it gets me. This may sound corny, but I look forward to going to bed so I can wake up to have my keto brick. Like that's how much. Like that.
I
Not
like
looking
it.
for a sponsorship or anything, but they're like so good.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, back when I first discovered ESP, I had it today actually. It's my favorite pre-workout. It's my favorite pre-workout that I've ever had, and one of the reasons I like it is because it's an appetite suppressant. Like your appetite
Oh,
is gone. Like everything that I just said about artificial sweeteners. Like yeah, it suppresses your leptin levels, and so throughout the day, still it's not like something good to be consuming in excess.
mm-hmm.
And it's something that I'm going to cut out. Probably not reintroduce again, to be completely honest, after the lion diet, because what the lion diet really did for me was brought to my awareness how much artificial sweeteners were affecting my body. I had no idea. Like if you think you're not addicted to something, try cutting it out for 30 days and see how you do.
Oh,
But yeah, letting go of that pre-workout kind of sucked. So I reintroduced it after Christmas, and here again, same thing. It's like,
you don't really
man,
know.
it's so good. And like when you haven't had it for so long, like I don't know what the other stimulant in it, but it has another stimulant besides caffeine that's just puts me in a good mood, and I want to work out.
For sure.
Okay, so you're doing coffee first thing in the morning with a little bit of protein powder and your keto brick. So your protein powder is 13 grams of protein because you're getting 14 from half of the brick. So that puts you at about 30 grams of protein, which is where, it's like if you're eating protein, you got to get about 30 grams. Otherwise, it's not really worth it,
Yeah.
depending on your body weight. And then, so yeah, your carbs are under 10 grams before you hit the gym. And then your fats are 43 grams. So moving into the lion diet, well, let's go through the rest of your day. So after that, you've got your Mark Bell's Total Carnivore Steak Shake. Man, I'm so glad that you sent that to me. That is that is a hell of a product, man. Like
Oh, right.
if I wasn't gonna go lion, like I might get it just even though it's a competitive to the stuff that I sell, but I mean the ingredients are legit, man. Every
Mhm.
single one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that. That'll have to go though because it does have sweeteners in it.
Yeah.
And you know that. So then after that, you got 4 ounces of beef for 20 more grams of protein, so that you got 40 total right after your workout. And then you got your ribeye or a chuck steak right before bed with butter. Have you been doing ribeyes or have you been doing chuck steaks? Because they're like basically the same for marbling.
I've been doing ribeyes just because that's what I get in my butcher box, and I found a bunch of them on sale at my supermarket, so I stocked up on ribeyes. So my fridge and freezer are loaded up with ground beef and ribeyes.
Oh man,
Great time to be alive.
I'm clapping for you, but I kind of want to punch you because I'm so jealous right now.
I get
I'm
stoked.
envious.
Like I'm like, yeah, I never thought I would have been that guy who's like getting stoked about meat on sale. Like I just make a beeline to the meat section. I'm just like, what can I find on sale? What's my
Yeah. Okay. So the first week or two, we're going to be real generous with our macros. And so like if you need to eat more, if you don't feel like eating as much, you really got to listen to your body the first couple weeks. Last time I did it was 49 days, and I kind of want to do it 49 days again. But I actually tracked very little throughout the entire thing. Now that I'm cutting for the open natural, the guest pose, I kind of want to take it a little bit more seriously, like from a cutting perspective. And so we'll do that after the first 2 weeks. But the biggest things that are going to change for you, pal, are I think just training fasted in the morning is going to be your best bet.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
do
today
that.
for me, I'm all for it. Like, doing it today and just getting out of my head was definitely good too.
Yeah. I mean, so you just broke that barrier already just today.
Yeah.
So then we're going to replace the butter with tallow. So you can do this one of two ways. You could buy your tallow or you can render your own tallow. I've been rendering my own tallow for like the last year, but I definitely haven't been doing right. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I can separate it and know how many macros I have, but I'm not making like quality, like appetizing tallow. so,
Okay.
I'm consulting with someone that has actually a lot of nose to tail end customer clients. Um, a ranch nearby, Oswald Farms. She's like actually teaching me how to make tallow this week, and so we'll have a podcast on that on
Oh,
Carnivore
cool.
Coach's Farm.
Nice. Yeah, I'll listen in on that.
Yeah, have you ever bought your own tallow or done that or?
I was looking into it a little bit this morning, oddly enough, you bring that up. I was looking up some places, just to kind of get some beef tallow. And I was finding this one, I forget the name of the brand, but they had like beef tallow, duck fat, and just a bunch of stuff like that I could buy.
Oh, duck fat is so good. Yeah, not okay on lion, but after lion.
Yeah. So if I can learn how to make it, but otherwise I have no issues with just kind of buying the tallow and using that for stuff too. So I was definitely looking into that this morning. That's funny we bring that up today.
Yeah. We use tallow for skincare too. Actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of people doing that. Yeah. When I talked to Richard Anthony Smith from the UK a while ago, because this dude does not let plant products touch his body, man. Not only does he not eat them, but like just doesn't use them for anything. And I thought it was kind of extreme at first, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to stop using shampoo. I'm going to stop doing everything. I'm going to stop wearing deodorant. My wife wasn't happy about that, and so I put on deodorant for like Sundays, like when we go to church.
Yeah,
but other than that, yeah, man, I've just been using tallow for like everything. It's freaking awesome, man.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
I've that, but okay.
I'll have Taylor text you the link to the skincare that I use. She has a friend like on Etsy or something that makes it, and it's great, man. Like I think it's wonderful deodorant actually. Like I put it on my armpits, I put it all over my face, and like you can use it as hair gel. It just feels really good.
Yeah.
So butter's got to go out, and you can just weigh it out the same as butter. It's like it's a little more dense because there's a little bit of water in butter, but I don't know. Like you can basically you're splitting hairs there. You can basically just think of it like butter in terms of its weight. But I've just been using it like butter when I went lion last time. So
Okay.
right now for me, like your plan is pretty much the same. Your plan is very 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 similar to mine. So the only differences for me that are going to change is artificial sweeteners. Those are all going to go again, and then taking out butter and replacing it with tallow too. Tallow, I don't know if you know, but one of like the biggest selling points and reasons why even people that aren't lion are fans of tallow that do use it is because it's particularly high in choline. And choline is, as you probably know, very essential for recovery. But also, one more fun fact on that: keto bricks have more choline.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, because when Robert was here, this was embarrassing. Robert Sykes, the inventor of keto bricks, was at my house. He was in this room. We had this conversation in this room about keto bricks. And he's like, "So you're on the lion diet, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "So you cut out keto bricks?" And he knows that I've eaten a brick every day for like years, and I just felt like an asshole, man. And so and I was like, man, I'm doing it for the lion diet. Like the lion diet is just not the same with keto bricks in it. I'm sorry. And so, so of course he totally understood.
Yeah.
But he was quick to inform me. He's like, yeah, just so you know, keto bricks have more choline in them. I never forgot that.
Hey everyone, Coach Taylor Milton here. Welcome to Skullbellz TV, the official YouTube channel of supersetyourlife.com, where you're going to discover a weekly upload of quick and easy to follow workout tutorials featuring Coach Colt, myself, or one of our athletes to keep your workouts fun, practical, and effective. Our family's latest keto carnivore recipes that fuel Colt's competitions and keep myself and our kiddos strong and healthy. Video uploads of the supersetyourlife.com podcast, now over 100 episodes, your weekly dose of entertainment, education, and inspiration to fuel your life inside and beyond the gym, and much more. Last thing before we get into the video, we're asking a big favor from you. This has been working beautifully, so if you would please think of someone you care about that would benefit from this video, go ahead and smash that like button, click the share button, and text this video to them. That would mean the world to us. And while you're at it, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss more exciting content from Skullbellz TV, because our team has lots of meat and lots of muscle coming your way, and I promise you won't want to miss it. When you hit the subscribe button, you'll see a bell icon pop up. You want to click that too so you're notified every time we release a new video. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to us. Every like, share, and subscription helps our channel grow and supports our family's hard work. So thank you so much for doing your part too. That's all we ask. God bless you, and please enjoy this video.
Okay, so your macros are 140, 20, and 140. And your weights since Wednesday were 183, 183, 182, 183, 183, 180.
Yeah, shooting back down for sure.
I kind of want to stay ahead of the ball, and you're not particularly hungry right now. Right now, why not? You want to get a little bit more aggressive with it. Like, you feel okay with that up until your birthday, and then your birthday is your cheat day. No, I'm just kidding. And then after that, just go on.
I'm do it. Yeah. I'm down. Like I said, I've been feeling great. Satiety is great. I'm not really feeling any hunger, so I'm down to kind of push that barrier.
Okay, so we should go down 10 grams total, either fat or protein. Both of them would do the trick. One case you have less energy, and so it makes your body burn more fat. And in one case you change your hormones, and so you will optimize your body's metabolic state by dropping your protein 10 grams. So that's usually what I like to do. That's why I like to, all things being equal, have higher fat than protein. But I also have found, just for whatever this is worth to you, that women in particular, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, tend to do particularly well with higher protein and lower fat. And me, it's the opposite. I get way better results with higher fat, lower protein, and most of my guys are like that too. So
yeah, I've been enjoying the higher fat. Like when we first started working together, like that high fat, like I was like on top of the world.
Yeah,
like we had my fats up higher.
Okay, so you good with are you good with 10 grams less protein?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, I'll send you an email after this then, and you're gonna have 130 protein, 20 grams carbs, and 140 fat.
Cool. Stoked.
Yeah, and your protein should come out of your shake. So I want you having like 3. This will be an email, but I want your shake to be a little bit less. We can't change your protein, and we can't change your pre-workout meal because you already have 30 grams of protein. That's the minimum. I don't want you having any less than that. So it'll make the most sense to have a little bit less of a steak, maybe like 1 ounce less of steak, 1 ounce less of ground beef for lunch, and just like a little bit less of your steak shake. That'll do it.
Okay. A little less steak shake, 3 ounces of beef, and just a little less ribeye.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Yeah, it's actually funny you mentioned birthday cheat meals. I was just texting my buddies like, I want to go back to the Brazilian steakhouse. Like that's what I want. It's just like,
yeah. Okay, good. So walk me through this, right? It's your birthday. What are you gonna do on your birthday? It's the last day before you make a number of significant dietary changes. Most people go into this like, oh man, I'm gonna have this, and that. And it's probably like a laundry list. Okay, so what is your birthday dinner gonna look like?
Oh boy, yeah, it's probably gonna be. I'm gonna probably be pushing for that. It's either gonna be It's either gonna be the Brazilian steakhouse or chicken wings. Like those are just things I crave. And honestly, like that high of going completely off the wall, nuts, cheat meal, it's not worth how I know I'm gonna feel after the fact and even days after.
What's the name of the Brazilian steakhouse you're going to?
Tejas de Brazil.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's. I swear, I mean, obviously you can tell from the vlogs I send you, but I ate at least 5 pounds of meat. I had to have, like, I just had to tell them to keep coming with the bacon wrap fillets, just like all the lamb. I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah. See, and that's what okay. So for those listening, that they probably clicked off by now, but if you're listening and you're unfamiliar with the Lion diet, it's red meat, water, salt. So red meat is what we classify as meat as being from ruminant animals. So you're looking at things like goats, sheep, beef, bison, deer. These are all ruminant animals. They have 4 stomachs, and so that's why this food that's why it digests so much better, and why personally I'll have 2 pounds of red meat, wake up the next morning, I'm in ketosis, and I feel like I can work out, and I poop once, one and done. Okay? If I have 2 pounds of chicken, if I have less than 2 pounds of chicken and I supplement the fat so that I hit the same macros, but I'm not eating red meat more, and I'm eating either pork or chicken, any other meat besides red meat does the same thing.
Yeah,
I'll have to poop twice the next day. I will have less energy, and I will not be in ketosis.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that you've noticed, but if you haven't, you'll notice it real quick. I mean,
I noticed one thing.
You're basically already there.
I've been cooking my steaks, not quite blue rare, but more rare. And I've been noticing that they taste better, and I've been noticing I feel better.
Yeah, that's the other thing, man. When you
Like
go
blue
lying, like
rare.
your cravings for raw meat just like skyrocket.
Yeah, like raw meat, and like I texted you earlier, like butter for some reason. Like I've been craving just like chunks of butter, like just like butter and raw, like rare meat. Like I don't know what that's
Yeah.
about, but
One of my clients, Lucky, told me if you're her name's Lucky. She's from Alabama. She goes because she was the one that kind of got me into eating butter and eating beef just like cold and like not even going through the trouble to cook it.
yeah. Oh,
And so yeah, she told me that if your butter doesn't have bite marks on it, you're not a savage or something like that. And so ever since then, I've been
right now, just like because I'll take little nibbles and I don't know why, I don't know where it came from. Like I'm just like, damn, like it's so creamy, it's great, salty. Like oh man, it's so
a little bit of salt on it. It's like a candy bar, bro.
Yeah,
Without the sugar crash.
I get my sweet tooth.
For sure, man. I mean, there's actually a decent like a healthy amount of sweetness in the butter too, but you can't tell that like if you're drinking sodas and stuff throughout the day. It doesn't taste the same. Your entire palate changes when you get rid of all the garbage that your body doesn't even recognize as being food anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I've been preaching out to my clients because I don't really have them track calories. I just have them, what can we add and don't have a restrictive mentality. So it's like, okay, if you truly do really want these things, let's start off by what can we add to these meals? Add in some ground beef, add in some eggs.
Very good. Yeah.
Just see how you feel. And I always tell them each day, tell me how you're feeling. And I've actually had one of my clients is actually just down like 3 pounds just by doing more of an OMAD approach, but he's prioritizing ground beef, eggs, and butter. And he said his satiety's through the roof, and he's already down 3 pounds in just a couple of days.
So man, that is so amazing to hear. Yeah, no, dude, that is the kind of stuff I hear all the time, and so like that's why I decided not to do it because like honestly, man, I just decided it was too weird. Like this would just freak people out, and so but I wanted to do a butter eating challenge. I'm dead serious. I'm like just eat the stick of butter. I know that every doctor that you've listened to has always told you it's bad for you. It's not bad for you. Eat the butter. Just eat the butter, and you won't want the crap that you're eating anymore.
Yeah, and it is just a craving. Like it's
butter's super good for you.
Yeah, it's a health food.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, and that's just been my mentality with helping clients lose weight without tracking anything. Is just listen to your body and add what you need. So add what your body needs. Listen to your body and prioritize whole foods, animal products, red fatty meats, and see how you feel. See if you still want that candy or those chips. And oftentimes I find that a lot of that is due to mindless eating. Like I'll track down the triggers that are causing these habits.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, people eat while they're on their phones. They eat while they're in front of the TV.
Snacking.
They don't realize how much
they're
going in and out of that bag, and it's just a bottomless pit, like we talked about earlier. Those carbs go right through you. I've done it. I could kill a whole thing of cookies and not even bat an eye.
Right.
But I dare you to eat a pound of steak and still feel, want to keep eating.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely eat another pound of steak and not complain after that. But but I agree with you.
Yeah, that kind of.
Favorite cut of meat to get at a Brazilian steakhouse. What is it?
Oh man, I get their in-house, like the picanha or whatever it is.
I knew you were going to say that. Everybody says that. It's the best, man. I have never in my life to this day had a better cut of meat, period, than a well-cooked picanha at a Brazilian steakhouse. Hey, man.
Butter. It was so good.
We have one of those in Billings, and we haven't gotten around to getting to it yet. But yeah, our favorite one that we went to is always Novios in Seattle.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm always down for just all you can eat meat, and then I tell them to keep it coming, especially the picanha and the lamb chop were my two.
Absolutely. That their ribeyes are always pretty good, but they cut them differently than like the ribeyes that you see in the store. I don't know how to explain it. What else is good on there in line? I don't know. I feel like every time that when I went there for the lion diet after coaching Mark and Mark and Leo, those two, me, Sarah, Jairo, we all went to the Brazilian steakhouse afterwards, and it was like there was nothing on the menu that was off limits for the most part, except the carbs, but that's on a like buffet at a different end of the thing.
Yeah, it's really section, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, in ecstasy because of how good the picanha is. I'm like, yeah, dude, like I don't know, like you try making a cupcake or a freaking candy bar that tastes this good. It doesn't exist, man.
Yeah, and it's really true, how you say your palate changes. Like that's just the kind of stuff it just tastes so freaking good. I don't know.
Right.
For it. I'm a weirdo. I don't know.
Yeah. See, the only I never get complaints from people that eat keto bricks if they're keto. if you're keto bricks are freaking awesome. Like,
Oh,
they're great. But if you're used to eating Snickers bars, like, it's gonna taste like a shitty candy bar at
oh,
best.
yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, if your palate is just used to that processed stuff, like if you bite into a keto brick, like you're just gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
Right. For sure. Um, alcohol. That's the only thing that I kind of miss, that I felt like was part of the Brazilian steakhouse, like just kind of part of the dining experience. I let that go. Haven't really missed it at all. I think that my quality of life is better without any alcohol whatsoever. I'm
Mhm.
curious if you have a perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of same thing. Like, I can go without it, but I definitely, I guess I have more of a cutoff. Like I kind of know that point where I know where I know I'm gonna kind of live on borrowed time in a sense, where my next day is kind of shot. So I kind of have like a point where I do it for the social aspect. But again, I think a lot of that goes to the nature of the diet, to where I'm much better at listening to my body, and I know that cutoff, even with alcohol, whatever you want, junk food, anything like that. Like I'm just so much better at listening to my body and my satiety, and just knowing how I'm going to feel the next day. Like I know how I feel now. Is it worth how I'm going to feel tomorrow doing this stuff? Past like a certain point, like past like one or two, just for the social component.
That's that's very, very wise. Yeah, the only times that I really have drank over the holidays have been really just family gatherings or
Yeah.
social environments, or if we went Bo, me, and Taylor all went to a country concert, actually a rocking country concert, and so, like, like, of course I'm going to be drinking some alcohol,
Yeah, for
but I mean,
sure.
like, Taylor and I will split a beer and, like, we won't even finish it.
Just the
It's
experience, and just like, yeah, like the moment, just like you're out. It's like, all right, yeah, like this, let's make, this is great. And then it's like, okay, I don't need any more. Like
right.
before, like I used to have a drinking problem, and I used to have like, I feel like I needed it to get that high, and now I just don't need that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to us, it's just got to the point where as soon as we do start to feel the effects of the alcohol, like, I just feel kind of depressed. I don't feel like
Yeah.
I'm the best version of myself anymore. And, I just look
Yeah.
at, I don't know. I never considered myself to be an alcoholic, but I look back at all the dumb things that I have done in my life, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Alcohol was usually there.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed this. You've been following this kind of protocol way longer than me, but I noticed that when I do, maybe if I go off plan when I was on keto, or if I indulge a bit, like my body kind of like lets me know, like my body is so much more receptive to these processed foods, alcohol. Like I just like get hit like a truck, like like I'm on the toilet next day. Like I'm just like, it
Yeah.
just kills me.
Right. Yeah. It's just the 10-15 seconds of mouth pleasure that you
Mouth
get
pleasure.
that you get from that food is not worth the concept that you having to deal with the consequences for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
And unless you ever get, and when people are like, oh, I eat all the stuff that you're telling me not to eat and I feel fine, I'm like, have you ever cut it out? No.
Yeah.
Cut it out, then tell me how you feel. You've
Yeah.
never experienced, you have nothing to relate it to.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Again, like we mentioned before we went on, like I'm a walking cautionary tale. That was exactly me. Like I'm now, if I go back to that kind of stuff, I'm wrecked, and it's just like, this is awful.
Yeah.
But so
Yep. Well, cool, brother. Man, this has been an absolute joy having you on the show. Seriously, man. It's like we've had so many
yeah,
of these conversations, and so to actually be able to record it, I'm just hoping that everybody that listened to this is going to be inspired to maybe not go strict line. I don't expect everybody to do that, and that's what I try to communicate to everybody. Is like, just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that you have to. It's like,
yeah,
there's
right.
people that will be hesitant to hire me because, like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, but like, not everybody that I'm training is doing this. Like, I'm
Yeah,
trying, I do this because I love it. Right. That's
yeah,
the reason that you do it too. Like, we're
yeah,
coaches, we're coaches. We should be leading by example. But at the end of the
yeah,
day, like, hey, if you're, if you got bread in your diet, I don't care what else you got in your diet. Get bread out of your diet and just watch how your life changes, right? Like, and make
yeah,
one small change. Like, you just heard Michael say 15 or 20 things that would be a great idea if you made that small change. All right. Cut out bread. I don't know. Cut out carbs. Cut out alcohol. Stop doing something that you know is for pleasure only, and that you're paying consequences for it. And I don't know, like, it's you're the one that you're the only one that can decide whether that change is worth it for you or not. Is
yeah,
it too intense and too stressful to eat nothing but red meat, water, salt? For most people, probably. I'm not gonna lie.
sure.
I think it's worth it if you can actually do it. That's why I can't wait to do it again personally.
Yeah, I'm
But
excited to try it out. you know, and I definitely think you should be excited about what your dietary protocols are. You know, compliance is the science. And I just heard,
I like that. That's great.
yeah,
That's a good one-liner.
I am just, it's something I've become more passionate about. And I just, you know, I'm not a dietitian or a registered nutrition, so a little out of my scope of practice, but I speak from passion. I speak from past experience. Just, if you really insist on keeping in the junk food, just prioritize your animal fatty foods and see how you feel, and start tipping the scale. Do a little bit more and you'll see how you feel. Like, I guarantee it, because I was that guy. Like, I went from eating processed food, trying to fit it in if it fits your macros, and now I just never crave it. I walk past the bakery section at my supermarket. Like, I don't even really like crave it anymore. Like, it's just gone.
Yeah, I smell it. It smells good, but my mouth doesn't water like it used to a year ago.
And even that's changed for me. Like, I'll smell it and I'm just like, it doesn't do anything for me anymore. Like, before I couldn't even like smell the roses. Like, I couldn't, because I would just be tempted. Like, now it's just like, yeah, like everything's just changed. A lot of the time, I suppose.
I'm going to end by confessing something to you. 3 or 4 years ago, I was sold on if it fits your macros. No, excuse me, not 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a little bit longer than that. So it's 2017 was my first year ever of bodybuilding competing, and I did everything wrong. I did everything that everybody says to do on bodybuilding.com, even though they're all on steroids, and I had no idea. You find that out later, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when I would listen to podcasts like this, and when I would hear people say things like they don't eat processed foods, I thought that was an eating disorder. I thought they had it backwards. And I thought that
we're the weird ones.
Right. And then when people would say things like, no, like I will walk by a donut store and it will not register to my brain that it's food. Like, that's what I thought that was crazy the first time I heard. I thought that was absolutely you've got to be ludicrous. There's no way you are serious.
Yeah.
And yet that's exactly how I feel today. So if you're listening to this, just give it a try, guys. Just stop. Just stop it with the processed food. It's killing you. You know it. Yeah. Michael, something that I wanted to tell you that I really respect about you is that, yeah, I mean, you may not be a nutritionist for a living. Both of us are health coaches, right? We help people to look better and feel better every day, and superset your life inside and beyond the gym, right? Like, that's what we do. But your information also isn't funded by Google and Bill Gates like most nutritionists and most doctors is. And there's always a sales agenda behind it. If you notice something, Sean Baker, Anthony Chafee, Dr. Kiltz, all of the carnivore-based doctors, what do they all have in common? They're all in great shape. They have great health markers. They look good. Their skin's darker. That's something else that I noticed. Yeah, you sunburn a lot less easy when you get plants out of your diet. That's a conversation for another day. I heard Dr. Kiltz explaining why this morning.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, man.
I never really put 2 and 2 together there, but I guess it does make a little bit of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just noticed that I haven't gotten a sunburn in like forever, man. I mean, it's also the winter. Yeah, no crap, but I used to sunburn all the time when I was a kid. I thought I grew out of it. I think it was just embracing a meat-based diet, never looking back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ultimate elimination protocol. Just, prioritize these foods and watch your health skyrocket and realize you don't need all that junk.
And then that same philosophy just carries over to your other areas of life. It's like, okay, I used to watch TV every night before I went to bed. I don't do that anymore. It's like, all right, we have one kid that's on the autism spectrum, and so like if he watches TV, he gets crazy and he starts running around in high energy, and man, it's kind of a nightmare after that. So we have no TV in this house. I'm like, man, do I miss it? Nah, not really.
Well, yeah, half the time it's for me, like I'm getting work done and I just have something going. Like, I don't even think I've sat and watched something for more than an hour or two.
Right. Yeah, I think that what the Lion Diet did for my body was cool. What it did for me mentally, and realizing how many things that I was doing that were pleasurable before, but that I just didn't really need in my life anymore, shifted me more towards a life of purpose. I don't know if that's deep or if it sounds like an overclaim, but or if it sounds like too much of a claim. But man, it changes who you are as a person when you make a commitment and you stick to it. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, definitely. That I like that thing you said about mouth pleasure, because now food is just like purpose. Food is fuel, and I just think about what's going to make me feel the best.
Yep.
And that goes to like you said, all aspects of life. What am I going to feel the best? Like, am I going to, so.
Yeah, feels good in the moment. Great. Are you still proud that you did that 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later?
living on borrowed time, right? Future you, what are they going to think? How are
Yeah.
they?
Oh yeah, like my wife and I get in an argument. What feels good in the moment? Telling her something that's that's going to win the argument.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to pay for that for the next
Well, I was
24
gonna say,
hours. You know? All right, title of the podcast is going to be Lion Diet for a Better Marriage. Here we go.
no, right, yeah.
Oh, man. I love you like your brother. You know that. Where can everybody go to find out more about you, pal?
Yeah, so my Instagram is m_Meola, and on there I have all of my progress pics, client stories.
But it's a 0, not an O, right?
My Instagram is an O. Yeah, my Instagram is m_, then it's my last name.
Oh, okay. Got you. My bad.
Yeah, my
We'll
email.
put a link to it in the show notes.
Differentiate it, but yeah. And I have the link to my platform if people want to see what I'm all about on online coaching. It's a link to my platform on there, but they can also just follow along for the journey as I post about my workouts, my sick ass pumps, client stories, and yeah, anything else.
You gotta see this guy's sick ass pumps too. It makes mine to shame. I used to post progress pictures when I was flat. Now I always have to get a bicep pump with lots of sodium and everything so that I can.
Oh yeah, yep. So potassium pump. Yep.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So, listeners, go ahead and check out his Instagram profile for all that, and I'll put links to him in the show notes too, so that you got just to make sure you don't miss it. Cool. Michael, thank you so very much for your time, bro. I'm super proud of you. Cannot wait for the Lion Diet. And
thank you, Cole. Thank you for having me. This was a great time.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for this entire conversation with Coach Mike. I really pray that you found it helpful, and if it did, please pay it forward by sharing with a friend. One more thing before we sign off. If you're not subscribed to our nutrition podcast, Carnivore Coach's Corner, which you definitely heard us reference a couple times on this chat, you are really missing out. We are coming up to a year now. Coach Mark and I are recording every single week. We haven't missed a week yet. We do not plan on slowing down anytime soon. Coach Mark and I from Ireland, we collaborate weekly, diving deep into meat-based nutrition and advanced hypertrophy training, featuring top coaches and nutritionists from across the globe. If you are a fan of the low-carb lifestyle or just getting into it, just search Carnivore Coach's Corner on the same platform you're listening to now, and you should find us pretty quick. Special offer before we sign off. If you like salt, and if you like potassium, and if you like to save money, then listen up, because this discount code, you're going to want to write this down for pink potassium cave salt. Ready? It is KIS, the number 4, potassium, all spelled out. Actually, it's just K is for potassium. That's why I wrote it that way, because I figured I'd make it educational while we were at it. Periodic table of elements, yeah, K is for potassium. So there you go. Figured it'd be easy to remember too. 15% off of your purchase of 5 or more when you buy Celtic sea salt off of our website, supersetyourlife.com. Pink potassium cave salt is almost as much potassium as it is sodium, actually. So I know it's hard to believe, right? So the list of essential roles that potassium plays in your body, if you're unfamiliar, for health and athletic performance is miles long, obviously. But here's the 2 probably biggest things and reasons that I use and advocate it, and why so many of our clients do too. Actually, I'm pretty sure everybody's taking this right now. So number 1 is potassium will aid in muscle cramps and fatigue throughout the day if that's something that you struggle with. Okay, so when I hear someone say I have I have a muscle cramp during my workout or at some point during the day, that is almost always a potassium deficiency in my experience. I don't know why. This is actually just advice from my track coach that I had in high school, so take it for whatever it's worth. But cramping after or cramping at night, it's usually a magnesium deficiency. So for troubleshooting muscle cramps, those are my go-tos there. Hope that makes sense. And then point number 2 is, have you recently removed processed foods from your diet? A lot of preservatives are actually pretty high in electrolytes because it's what they use to keep food from going bad when you make processed packaged foods. So if you have been eating a lot of processed packaged foods and you're new to a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet, that's really interesting too, by the way. You'll notice that not a lot of carnivores are too crazy about supplementing electrolytes. They do it here and there, but you'll notice the keto crowd is usually a bit more into it. When you cut out vegetables, they stop stripping you of the electrolyte levels of your natural sodium and potassium that you're getting from your food in the first place. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I still, even though I don't eat vegetables, I still get great results off of pink potassium cave salt, and I just look at it as a natural way to always make sure that those boxes are checked. So Yeah, so processed foods have disproportionately high levels of chemically modified preservatives, high in sodium and potassium. So people who clean up their diet rather quickly often experience temporary potassium deficiencies as a result, and I believe are wise to supplement in this case. Personally, I have not gone a single day without pink potassium cave salt since discovering it years ago, before my last 4 keto carnivore bodybuilding competitions, and never looked back. It's okay on the lion diet too. So when I did my 49-day lion diet, I had no supplements. I had nothing. There was not one thing that entered my body besides red meat, water, and salt. I'm going to do it again. And so pink potassium cave salt, that's going to stay in there too, because it's salt. It's natural, just like God made it. It's been a favorite of our athletes and our flagship supplement ever since. Artificially sweetened electrolyte supplements are tasty. They're delicious. I love them. We all love them. But and I think they can have a place in the world of health and fitness, but they don't have near the potassium that this stuff does. So just one more reason why I'm a fan of this. Celtic sea salt, pink potassium cave salt, is naturally and sustainably sourced and imported from an underground ancient seabed in Spain. It has much more potassium than most leading brands such as Relight and LMNT. The code again is K is for potassium. KIS, the number 4, POTASSIUM, for our pink potassium cave salt. That again is on our website, supersetyourlife.com, and that code will save you 15% of your purchase of 5 or more. You're welcome in advance. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you one more time. We'll catch you on Monday on episode 225, as always, where we will get you pumped up for another big week. I'm going to leave you with our battle cry at supersetyourlife.com, which is 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. Do you not know that your body is a sanctuary of the Holy Spirit, whom is in you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were purchased at a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body. Catch you next week, everybody.